How y'all doing? Doing well? Hell yeah. So I actually grew up closer to Hendersonville, North Carolina. Any of y'all ever go over there to Hendonesia? Sometimes a few of y'all. You know, Hendersonville's world famous now because of that stingray that got pregnant miraculously. Did y'all see that? Any of y'all see that? Yeah? Yeah, Charlotte, the stingray. It was crazy, you know, because they didn't know how that stingray got pregnant. And so I called my cousin because he works at that place as a janitor. And I was like, hey man, I hate to ask, but did you fuck that stingray? And he was like, which stingray? I was like, that's not the right answer to that question. Not at all. Yeah, I live in Asheville now. They call Asheville Beer City, USA, because it has like the most breweries per capita or something. I don't really know what per capita means, but it sounds smart. But it's weird because I grew up one county over from Asheville, and it was a dry county when I was growing up. So really all that meant was it was just like flooded with other substances. Like, I used to know whole families that would sell drugs together. Like, the grandma would sell them to the mom would sell them to the son would sell them to us. They called it Appalachian multi-level marketing. Dude, they weren't going door-to-door selling Cutco knives, they were going door-to-door selling cut cocaine. But my buddies used to always be like, man, you shouldn't buy their stuff. You know, they cut it with baby laxatives. I was like, dude, I don't care. I'm not a baby. I'm built different. I'm taller and heavier. Y'all seen babies, probably. But yeah, I used to know this one guy, though, and his grandma had cancer, which was a bad deal. But he used to steal her painkillers and sell them to us for $5, which was a much better deal. I remember one day he tried to raise the price to $7. I looked at him and I said, I hope your grandma gets better. I saw him a little while later. He said his grandma made a full recovery. I said, that's what you get. You selfish piece of shit. Yeah, it's my grandpa, he used to work for the government. You know, we'll forgive him for that. But my mom grew up going to school in all these different countries. Like, she went to school in places like Ghana, Nicaragua, Minnesota. And I went to school in Western North Carolina, so I don't know where any of those places are. Like, she went to high school in Italy. She's always like, yeah, we used to drink wine at the Roman Forum. I'm like, yeah, I used to drink Robitussin in the Food Lion parking lot, so... It's called culture, Mom. Sounds like we got some cultured folks here tonight. Yeah, I actually got banned for life from Kmart for stealing Robitussin. I just didn't know it would be for the duration of their life. Got 'em. Walmart was way more chill about it, I'd say. Yeah, I've been beefing recently. It's like a one-sided beef with these places, and they call themselves rooftop bars. And you get there and it's only one story. I feel like that doesn't really count. Kind of feels more like a porch to me. Like if you call yourself a rooftop bar, I shouldn't be able to survive a fall. And I have. Fell straight into an Uber. It's called drinking responsibly, you know? But yeah, we didn't have a lot of bars back in my hometown, so what we would do is we would drink in barns a lot. Y'all ever do that? Hell yeah. But like it used to confuse my rich friends, because I'd be like, hey, you want to go drink at the barn later? And they'd be like, well, what's it called? And I'd be like, well, it doesn't really have a name. It's just like a place horses live. And they would be like, horses are going to be there? I'm like, no, not while we're drinking. That would be preposterous. Everybody knows horses and alcohol don't mix. I would be like, remember in middle school when we would do those science experiments and we would take one beaker and it was full of alcohol, and we would take another beaker and it was full of live horses, and we would try to mix them together and they wouldn't mix. And he'd be like, no, I don't think we did that at my school. I think we used oil and water. I was like, okay, Daddy Warbucks. Where'd you get that oil from? And then he'd be like, well, I don't think they'll let me in. You know, I'm not 21. I don't have a fake ID. And I'd be like, well, the bouncer's a donkey. So you could probably just show him any ID. I don't think donkeys really know about birthdays. Just don't show him a driver's license from Wile E. Coyote. Y'all ever watch TV? Yeah? It's the alright thing to do, you know. Sometimes it's fun. And I was watching this one show, though, and it's about this guy, and when he goes to work, he has no memory of the outside world. And when he's in the outside world, he has no memory of work. I was like, shit, that sounds like every job that I've ever had. Like, I used to hate when people would come into work, they'd be like, can I talk to a manager? Can I talk to somebody higher than you? I'm like, you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in this TJ Maxx higher than me right now. Not gonna happen. Yeah, I was a Maxinisto there for a little bit. I gotta start somewhere, I guess. Yeah, like we got a lot of weird laws in North Carolina. You've heard of North Carolina here? Yeah. Like we got a lot of weird laws there. Like weed is decriminalized, which to me means legal, and to the police it does not. Apparently. Because they made me do community service with all of the other D criminals. And if you ever see somebody working at Goodwill and they're wearing a tan vest and not a blue vest, the only thing that person can help you find in that store is drugs. Yeah, I go to, we got those weird dispensaries, those fake dispensaries, I call them. You know, where they're like, yeah, we can't sell regular weed, but we can sell you 3 different kinds of weed in a trench coat or something. But I was in there a while ago, and the guy was trying to explain the rules to me. And he was like, yeah, we can't sell regular THC, but we can sell what's called THCA. And when you light it on fire, it becomes regular THC. And I was like, well, that's good. That's what I was planning on doing with it. The fuck? What am I going to put in my beehole? I know that doesn't work. Y'all ever learn? Yeah? I do sometimes, I do. And I saw this thing a while ago, and it said that smell is our sense most closely related to memory. So now what I do when I write jokes, I like to huff paint. And then right before I come on stage, what I like to do is I like to huff some more of that paint. And I gotta say, I think it's So I went to college for a little bit. Did a little book learning. We got any book learners here? Yeah, a few of y'all. Probably made the right choice. I made about like 6 months at college, and I was sitting there one day and I was like, I need some money for weed. What do I have that's expensive that I can sell? And I was like, oh yeah, my textbooks. So I started walking to the bookstore. I got one of my most prized possessions. It's a $250 Principles of Economics textbook. I walk in, I hand them the book. They're like, we'll give you $4. I was like, man, this must be a mistake. This book has never even been opened. Then I was like, oh, I get it. It's a metaphor. If you're poor, get fucked. And the guy looked at me and he said, congratulations, you just passed Principles of Economics. Turns out that's like the only principle. I got a little bit of a story. Can y'all down for that? So I used to do heating and air. Y'all are familiar with the heat and the air? Yeah. They got it in here probably, it's a lot of places nowadays, no big deal. And but I took this heating and air job one time in Florida, and the guy training me was a real piece of work. Like, I get in the work van the very first day. I've never talked to this guy my entire life. And he's on the phone. He's either talking to his therapist or his drug dealer. I can't tell. But he says, I can't stop shaking. I had to take some Xanax this morning. Right away, I'm like, all right, yeah, this is going to be good. So we get to our call. We have to replace an air handler in this lady's attic. And he's got the torches out. And he's just shaking. Just shaking away. Now that's when I find out that he has the shakes from extreme alcohol withdrawals. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen an alcoholic on Xanax in an attic in Florida with a mini flamethrower. That's not exactly a recipe for success. I saw that and I was like, man, this seems dangerous. I better do something. So I tried to DoorDash some White Claws. I had to. I mean, the guy being sober was an OSHA violation. At one point, I walked downstairs and the homeowner was like, "Can I get you guys something to drink?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I thought you would never ask." Then I started sounding like I was threatening this old lady. I said, "Ma'am, if you don't get my partner here a couple vodka crayons, I got a bad feeling this house is going to burn to the ground." She looked at me, she said, "Partner, vodka crayon, what is this, the most homoerotic hostage negotiation?" Then we both just joined hands on the torches. What really messed me up though is I got paid like $10 an hour and the company billed like $300 an hour. You know, I was talking to my dad about it. My dad was like, "Well, you know, the business owner's the one taking all of the risk." I was like, I would not say all of the risk. I'll see the business owner up here in this 150-degree attic right now giving Charizard a hand job. See, what happens when you take a flame to Freon, it creates what's called phosgene, a chemical used in a little thing called World War I. This dude was up in this lady's attic violating the damn Geneva Convention. Shit was crazy, man. He's a wild guy. So, y'all ever go to the doctor? Yeah? I do sometimes, not to brag, but I was at the doctor a while ago, and the doctor was asking a bunch of questions. You know how doctors do, very nosy people. And the doctor was like, "Have you ever had sex for money?" And I was like, what a coincidence. I actually need some gas money to get home. All right, man, y'all have been wonderful. Keep it going, man. Hospital Taylor, everybody.